Hello and welcome to this episode of Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. Hello, I'm Linda and I'm here with my friend Paul.
Did you forget your name?
I nearly did then. It's that late on a Friday. How are you going, Paul?
All right, a bit tired, but it's Friday. That was Penny.
Bye, Penny.
Bye, Penny.
It's one of those days.
Yeah.
So, Paul, you've had a very interesting week, and none of it's been about cooking. Some of it, but not really.
Yeah. Well, maybe, yeah. Well, I haven't actually done a lot of physical cooking. We're on to update 3.
Yes, Kitchen 3.
Yeah.
Kitchen 3, but
V3.
version 5 of
3.0
that room, but version Kitchen 3.
Yeah. So, been busy doing that. Got a new cooktop, which I had to fit anyway, so...
And you've been painting. All these things that chefs do.
Like appropriate
painting,
time.
Carpentry.
Yeah, but it's going to look good, and
And you've stacked the ovens, which is good. I think that's going to work really well.
Yeah, and people will get to see, a bit different in the background when we do our tutorials and our recipes and stuff. So hopefully it'll help improve the video quality a little bit.
I think it'll make it easier because stacking in the ovens really gives you a bit more flexibility with, I think, what you can show in the ovens and, getting everything into screen, because I know that's been an interesting dilemma.
There's a plane.
Oh, yeah. What's going
I've
on?
heard of.
It's been an interesting dilemma for you to solve with some of the tutorials that you've been doing.
Yeah. And
placement, but...
Step closer. So we're always looking to improve. It's not just cooking, so...
No, but it's getting that message out. It's getting that message out, isn't it? It's trying to get to help as many people as we can, which is, at the moment, while we're all still homebound and everyone's cooking, and we can see that people are cooking bread and pork belly.
Yeah, bread and pork belly.
And chocolate cake.
Yeah, but...
Who wouldn't love a chocolate cake after pork belly?
Yeah. Well, you could have it before, if that was your thing.
I'm sure
Dougie would.
Dougie would love 2 desserts at any given day. I know.
But no, from the kitchen, not a lot. It's kind of hard to say over a podcast, but there is things happening. So we'll have some, more
we should post a photo.
Yeah,
we should post a photo on Facebook. No,
not yet.
Okay, you're not ready to reveal. Not ready.
I'm not ready.
Okay.
It takes because I'm not a fitter and custom-made cabinetry and things that I'm doing, it takes me a little while longer than normal regular people, I think. So anyway, nonetheless, I was very happy with my ducting installation for a downdraft. So that's good. I was very happy with myself about that.
No,
that's
well
quite
done.
Professional. Maybe I should give up cooking and start to...
No,
but
please.
But it did take me all day to do one.
You won't make any money, buddy.
Yeah.
No money in that.
Oh, well, what do you do?
I have got a question for you, a cooking-related question.
No.
Polenta.
You've got to
solve...
on the polenta.
Yes.
Did we figure out what...
No, this is the problem. I thought I'd share the problem because even people with years of experience, access to a chef, can still have problems following... Well, just making sure that they're working out what's going on.
Yeah.
So, just so that I can recap for everybody, wanted to make some polenta, got all inspired following Paul's tutorial, and the first lot of polenta I made was great, tasty, but thick as by using the 5-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
Half and half.
Could have stuck some wallpaper.
And you could have carved it worn. You wanted as shoes, but it was very tasty, but very thick.
Yeah.
And I did put in a whole lot of water after texting you, going, "Help! I'm serving," and it's really solid. I did put in some water and gave it a stir, and it did loosen up a little bit, but it was very tasty and very easy to cook. An hour gave me time to do everything else I had to do for dinner.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. So the next time I made it, I put in 620 mils, not 500.
Yeah.
And it still came out really thick. Just
Well, you know what I think's happened.
So there could be two possible reasons for this.
Yeah.
One is that it's not fine polenta, it's instant polenta.
Well, I mean, when you say fine polenta, comes in different grades.
Well, polenta
so grain
could be...
is, but instant polenta, and someone out there, if you want to get in touch with us and correct me, knock yourself out. I'm pretty sure they put something in it, like an additional something, cornstarch. I don't know, but it's not the same as just straight polenta. There's an addition to it, which I think thickens it. Now, my gut feeling is, without seeing your concrete polenta, my gut feeling is that Dougie may have purchased instant polenta and you've treated it as though it's not. And so maybe the ratio was out then, because, I mean, I actually say on the tutorial 6-to-1's pretty good, and it's generally worked for me. But
yeah, it was it was incredibly
I also
yummy.
would like to point out, again, recipes are guidelines.
No, Paul. They're a process.
Yeah.
You and I have this discussion because I'm definitely a process, and I need to follow that recipe for new things that I'm not confident on.
So what's your other thought that it might be? What?
That it's just a grain. If it's not instant, that it just needs a lot more water, a lot more liquid.
So
maybe 8 to 1.
Larger grain,
yeah,
it may well need. But when you eat it, if it tastes grainy, then it hasn't been cooked out enough, and it's a larger grain. But by what you're telling me, it was like when you get a meringue or something like that, and you can get the granules of sugar, it's like sand. Polenta does the same thing if it's not cooked out properly. So, well, I sent you home with some anyway. Some fine polenta,
I am going to make that.
I asked you to have a look at the grains and have a look and see if there was any difference.
Yeah.
But this is a long time to talk about polenta.
No, well, I'm just saying sometimes people follow a recipe and they don't know why their result might be different, and we're just exploring the fact that sometimes there's a lot of factors that go into when you're into making something for the first time. And I was super impressed with the ease of cooking it up, stirring it, and then popping it into the oven for an hour, because then we're having cutlets, lamb cutlets, and we could get that going and everything else that we were doing.
Yeah.
In a very relaxed, organised time. And the polenta was super tasty.
Yeah.
It didn't have any grain. It just felt like the consistency the second time of like a cake or bread.
Yeah.
Which was very thick. And we had way too much because it was so nice the first time, even though it was really thick.
Yeah, and I mean, if that happens, you can always add more liquid. The only thing with adding more liquid, and it's not going to harm the polenta at all, it's not going to change it, but because if I was you, what I would have done is added like quite a bit of liquid, maybe a bit at a time, but I would have considered, 2, 3, 4, 500 mils if it needed it, if it was that thick. But the thing to take note of is that'll throw your seasoning out massively. So if you are going to cook it, and the whole idea behind adding butter and Parmesan cheese is the butter, melts obviously and turns to liquid, and it sort of emulsifies in there. So in theory, when your polenta comes out of the oven, you add your butter, it should be runnier than what you're going to serve it as, and then you add Parmesan, and what the Parmesan does, and the curds in the Parmesan thicken it up slightly, because cheese thickens things slightly, not all the way, but thickens it slightly. So when you first add your polenta to the liquid, that consistency, when it goes into the steamer, that consistency should be the same consistency when you've added your butter and Parmesan. So the consistency shouldn't differ a whole lot from initial adding of polenta to liquid, and then your consistency will noticeably change when you add the butter, and that's why I always add butter and then Parmesan. I don't do butter and Parmesan together. I do butter, mix that through, make sure it's all emulsified in, and then I add the Parmesan. But in your case, I would have done those things, added the butter and Parmesan, because Parmesan's salty, and then I would have tasted it and gone, okay, right, water, or stock, or milk, or whatever, or a mixture, and then I would have tasted it again to check the seasoning. Because the only harm you're doing is that you're going to cool it down, so you're better off adding warm water. You're going to cool it down, and you're also going to throw the seasoning out, but it's not going to hurt it.
No, and I think, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we should do more of these when you've cooked something and it didn't turn out like you've expected.
That's a long series.
But you forget, you've been cooking for so long, and the
Yeah.
way that you throw things together, and I've seen you recover something that you thought, oh, this isn't what you wanted, and you've recovered it. Whereas I think sometimes when you're trying something new, it's a bit daunting, and you're a little bit excited, but you sort of, that's why I agree, never do a recipe for the first time when you've got people over.
Yeah.
That you're trying to impress or feed, because it's quite stressful if it doesn't work out the way you want it.
Don't forget that anything like that, and I'm not just saying polenta, but anything like that, water is not a bad ingredient.
No.
So, like, you'll see people make mayonnaises, like we have made mayonnaises, and a single egg yolk can take almost an infinite amount of oil, right? Almost infinite, and especially when you add mustard, because that emulsifies as well, so it thickens the oil. So you can sit there with one egg yolk and make a litre of mayonnaise, no problem. But there'll be a point where it gets too thick, where you won't be able to almost whisk it, and it wouldn't be nice to eat, it wouldn't be palatable, and you add water. Water is a really important ingredient and treat it as such. Treat it as an ingredient. It's not just, oh, well, I better thin it out and add some water. Water, it goes into a lot of recipes. It goes into a lot of different things. Like, you're not going to add water to a cake, generally, unless it's a flourless, mud cake or something like that. But water is a really important ingredient to have in your head that go, okay, well, I've got water. Especially to thin things out, or, if you add some water to a emulsified mayonnaise and it's too thick, you can then continue to add more oil after you've added the water. It'll still stay emulsified, but you continue to add more oil. Same thing for a béarnaise or a hollandaise sauce. The only difference being is that if you're making a hot emulsion sauce like a béarnaise or a hollandaise, if it's starting to look like it's going to split, where the butter starts splitting away and you lose your emulsification, add cold water. If you're making a mayonnaise and it's starting to split and you're losing your emulsification, add warm water. So if you're doing a cold preparation, like a mayonnaise, where you're not cooking the egg, warm water, and a hot emulsification, cold water. So you do the opposite of what you're doing, and that should bring it back.
Great. Well, I think that we do need to do more of these, I think,
Yeah.
Paul, because I I sort of give you my numpty alert, when I send you a text. But I think a lot of people have these queries, particularly when you're using a steam oven or in a combi steam and you're just not sure of it, just getting those little fine-tuning bits down. So thank you for that.
The takeaway for today is, treat water as an ingredient.
Yes. And send us any questions that you'd like resolved so that my friend here can answer them. Because I think if you've got the question, other people have the question as well.
Quite possibly.
Well, I know I do.
Yeah, maybe that everyone out there's a better cook than you.
That's quite possible. That is absolutely possible as well. Well, thank you for that, Paul.
Are you going to tell people where they can send their questions?
Oh, you can send your questions to info@cookingwithsteam.com.
Very good.
Or to me directly at linda@cookingwithsteam.com.
Oh, wow. Jeez, giving away your personal email.
Oh, well, it's not that personal, but I will then be able to make sure that both of the two people that I have to resource, because Joel answers a lot of questions, and he's got a lot of knowledge now. So if you're unavailable because you're busy painting or pulling together some cabinetry.
Yeah. That's only this week.
And you now know what an Allen key is very, very well, don't you?
No,
Have you
really.
always? No?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't use them? Okay.
Why are they called Allen?
I've got absolutely no idea, but I'm assuming it's because
Something for another day.
some guy called Alan invented them.
Okay.
Okay, well, have a
Have a
good
good
weekend,
weekend.
and
All right.
thanks for listening. See
See
ya.
ya.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.